Well, guys, there's no real easy way to open up a video like this. This is about as on the spot as it gets, and I have held off from talking about this. I have kept mum about this for several weeks, hoping and praying that perhaps, maybe, just maybe, that there would be a resolution in this conflict that I'm going to be referencing. However, we are now past the point where that's not going to happen. And once again, fuck me for having that benefit of the doubt. But this video right here is to address one Jeremy Hambly of TheQuartering. You and me, son, we gotta have a sit-down talk. And I want to make this very clear. This isn't going to be a detailed video. This isn't going to be a deep dive video or a reaction video. This is not even a video from the perspective of Crasher, the content creator. This right here comes from the perspective of a 6-year subscriber to you, Jeremy Hambly of TheQuartering. 6 years. I'm turning 36 this year. So to put that into perspective, I have been subscribed to you for over 18% of my existence. And the amount of... oh my goodness. The amount of things that has taken place over the course of these past several weeks has been nothing short of astronomically chaotic, disappointing, and just overall can be summed up to one single question. What in the blue fuck is wrong with you? I already feel like this video is going to be disjointed as hell, but I'm just letting you know this is on the spot, it's off the cuff. If you guys want to have more detailed, structured videos, I will be more than happy to link you guys to those videos in the description of this one, especially to a video that June the King did on TheQuartering. Nearly 4 hours. If you have any questions or any doubts whatsoever when it comes to this situation right here, all of those questions and more will be addressed and answered in full when it comes to June the King's video. But even after his video went live, there is still more shit going on. It is like the shitstorm that just keeps on shitting. So to get to why I have a very big problem with you, Jeremy Hambly, is because for somebody that has built their image off of, oh, my channel's under attack, and being this free speech warrior, ain't it really funny how the moment that somebody dares have any criticisms or even any jokes against you, all of a sudden you turn into the very SJW that you have built your entire brand on shitting on. Woke this, woke that. The only one that's woke here, Jeremy, is you. Now to reference everything in one giant nutshell, are you guys familiar with the Kino Casino channel? Well, here's the thing, is that the Kino Casino, they are content creators. They are a streaming duo of PPP and Andy Worski. And pretty much their entire brand is based on humor, based on roasts, based on jokes. Nothing serious. And here's the thing, they have roasted so many people. They've roasted Review Tech USA as an example, which, bit of a side note here, weren't you, TheQuartering, calling out Review Tech USA for abusing the flagging system when it came to silencing critics? And yet here you are doing the same thing here. And not just with Kino Casino, mind you, but with countless other individuals that have dared called you out on your bullshit. But yeah, basically what happened was that the Kino Casino had their clips channel falsely taken down under the false pretense of ban evading. And why do I say ban evading? Because that also includes the Andy Worski channel, which actually got reinstated. So the whole ban evasion narrative is absolutely a fucking lie. And here's the funny thing, is that the Kino Casino Clips channel didn't even belong to Kino Casino themselves. It was belonging to their editor, which actually made money from the edits, made money from the Kino Casino Clips channel to help support himself and his child. And you, TheQuartering, took that all away because you got hurt. You were pissing your pants because somebody dares to make fun of you for shit that you yourself brought upon yourself. You said everything that you were being made fun of for, you have said out in the fucking open at least once, if not multiple times. Two big examples of you oversharing would be the fact that you literally admitted pissing in your basement in your own house and shitting yourself in a Walmart. And then you tried to claim harassment. You tried to claim and play the victim when it came to all of this backlash that you brought upon yourself. But you see, we don't see any receipts when it comes to the actual harassment from individuals that apparently wish the worst upon you, that wish death upon you. But yet, when you actually got swatted, you had absolutely no problem showing receipts of said swatting. But yet, when it comes to this situation here, well, where's your proof to back your ass up? And I just want to add a side note here that this swatting had absolutely nothing to do with this situation here. This right here was a completely different, isolated situation. But yeah, here's the thing. He wanted to claim harassment, and he also, get this here, he also was trying so hard to leverage his wife into this situation here, and trying to claim that, you know, his wife's a very private person, this, that, and everything else. Buddy, you, of everybody in this situation, have talked so much shit about your wife, including things that we didn't need to know about. Like one such example, and get your barf bags ready for this shit, because it's actually really gross, the fact that he actually would openly talk about his wife's private parts smelling bad because she was a vegetarian, that is actually real, by the way. Like, you have publicized your wife more than anybody else ever could. But it isn't just that, okay? There are other things that were massively exposed when it comes to you, Jeremy Hambly. For somebody who is, you know, a happily married man, why in the blue hell are you lusting for other women? And it's not just your co-workers that you would be lusting towards, but how about this cringy shit where you were on a live stream and you were in a public place and you were making really creepy comments about women that were within an earshot, and there were also children around too. I think you guys know where all of that is headed. And aside from that, there is also a bunch of lying, a bunch of manipulation, a bunch of backstabbing, really, because even his closest friends are calling him out and basically being like, what the fuck, Jeremy? What is wrong with you? And it has gotten so bad and so deranged that not only did he delete a channel that was actually not just his, but also other content creators, I believe Count Dankula and Bearing, if I recall correctly, were actually a huge help on that channel in growing that channel, and then just out of nowhere, it gets yeeted from existence. And gee, I wonder why. And that ain't the only thing that got yeeted out of existence too. He actually deleted his Twitter account, and he actually made some bullshit cope post on his YouTube community tab, and it is so unbelievably bad. Like, my goodness, it gave me a headache. Like, Jeremy, has it ever occurred to you that maybe, just maybe, if you can't take it, don't dish it? Like, that's the thing about the internet, my man, is that when you put yourself out there on an online platform, you are going to be open to any and all type of feedback, good and bad. That right there goes without saying. You don't ever try to question the internet. You don't ever try to treat them like they're stupid, because at the end of the day, the internet audience is a lot smarter than you ever will be. And that's why people like myself keep it 100. You know? I have absolutely no problem taking myself to task if I fuck up on something. I've done it plenty of times. That's what being a man is, Jeremy. You have to be a man and take accountability for when you fuck up. But you haven't taken any accountability. Like, Jeremy, you're 6'5", 6'6", over 300 pounds a man. Yet vanilla midgets seems to have more testicular fortitude than you do. Like, Jeremy, I know that you were not a perfect content creator. There's been times where you got called out and rightfully so. But you see, even with that being said, I still remain subscribed to you because of the fact that you still did talk about some topics of interest that was actually good, that was actually worthwhile, because it's good that channels of your size will be talking about topics that needed to be talked about, such as the whole thing with YouTube, like way back in the day, screwing over MXR plays. Like, that is a very big example as to a type of topic I actually appreciated you on. And you know what? Cringy thumbnails aside, it's like, I really didn't care about all of that. But you see, now that we are at this point, Jeremy, the fact that a 6-year subscriber is here sitting right in front of you, face to face, eye to eye, and telling you that you are a disappointment, not just as a content creator, but dare I say, as a man as well. Like, you have preached for so many years that you're this free speech warrior, that you're anti-SJW, anti-woke, and, you know, you'd be complaining that your channel is under attack, but yet, when the shoes are on the other feet, you know, when it's you that's actually getting back some of the bullshit that you'd be spitting out, all of a sudden it's now not okay. Now all of a sudden it's too far. It's crossing boundaries. It's crossing lines. It's harassment. Man the fuck up. People are going to talk their shit, and you know what? There's nothing you can do about that. Well, except for abusing YouTube's easily exploitable flagging system, which you tried to deny, by the way, and you got fucking caught in a lie. And with everything that I'm mentioning here, there is mountains of evidence to supplement and back up everything that I'm saying. Hence why I'm linking you guys to all of those videos in the description of this one, because like I said, this is an off-the-cuff, face-to-face rant video. This isn't going to be a deep dive type of thing, as evident if you guys had already made it this far, but oh my goodness, like, I am so pissed off and so frustrated with this situation. Like, it didn't need to happen this way, Jeremy. Like, what the fuck were you thinking? Like, clearly you haven't been thinking because you've been boozed up like 95% of your waking existence, which is really, really sad, Jeremy. Like, you have a problem, and you need to get that seen to. And I find it also really funny how you're now trying to LARP as this Christian, this good boy Christian, but yet you yourself are basically the embodiment of the 7 deadly sins. Like, it's actually unbelievable the amount of cognitive dissonance that is this situation. But you know what? I also just want to touch on this real quick. The fact that Jeremy is actually trying to grift off of Christianity is so disrespectful. It is, like, just really disgusting. You know, I'm also going to be upfront when I say this myself, okay? I am not your typical good boy Christian, you know, goes to church every Sunday, reads the Bible. No, here's the thing. I live life on my terms. I make mistakes, but I do my best every single day to improve myself, not just for myself, not just for my loved ones, not just for my family, friends, not just for my community, but also for God and for our King Jesus Christ. I'm not the one going out there drinking. I'm not the one out there lusting for women. That's you. And Jeremy isn't the only one that's grifting off of Christianity. We also have ourselves, well, let's just call her Jeremy's right-hand woman, right-hand simp, Melanie Mack. Honestly, Melanie Mack, for somebody that claims to be so devout as a Christian, you as well are a walking embodiment of a contradiction to said Christianity. Like, you would preach, you would sit there on your fucking soapbox, and you would preach down on everybody like you were born for greatness. You were preaching down on everyone about Christianity. You know, people like that are fat or that drink, you know, is a sin and stuff like that. Look at Jeremy! Look at Jeremy! Look at just what he has done. He is the living embodiment of the 7 deadly sins, like I had mentioned. He is the living embodiment of what goes against Christianity. But yet, you want to stick by his side. That ain't very Christian-like of you. And if we really want to get down to the brass tacks and the facts right here, what are with the tattoos? Isn't that against Christianity too? Now look it. I'm saying all this not because I'm trying to shame people for their life choices. If they want to have tattoos or piercings, you know what? Your body, your choice. I don't give a fuck. But what I give a fuck about is when someone tries to sit on their soapbox and tries to preach down on everyone about something, but yet they themselves don't actually practice what they preach. You see my point here? Like, this right here is a clear-cut S-tier example of throwing rocks when you live in a glass house. And you know what? I know I'm not perfect. I especially am not perfect as a Christian. That's why I don't sit on a fucking soapbox and preach down on people, because I know I'm not perfect. I got things I gotta work on that's gonna take a lifetime to do so. But you know, at the end of the day, I can at least acknowledge that, and I can at least acknowledge that God is almighty and Christ is our king. Like, Melanie, you, my friend, gotta give your head a massive shake and wake up. Get a grip. Like, you tripling down and defending Jeremy is what is putting your career in the fucking toilet. Your image is being put in the toilet. But yeah, honestly, it has just gotten so out of control. To say that the dam broke is a massive understatement. I'm talking like many dams have broken, and the water just keeps on flooding. It just keeps on going. You know, Jeremy, you might think that you're unsinkable like the fucking Titanic. I got news for you, bro. You are sinking really fucking quick. And rather than being a man and admitting that you fucked up, and royally fucked up, I might add, rather than you admitting to all of your past sins, you chose to triple down on all of your fucking nonsense. Like, it is so ridiculous. And the fact that you are taking down platforms, you are taking down channels, you are taking down your Twitter. Let me ask you a question. Are those the actions of an innocent man? In short, no. It's not. With everything that I've said so far, I know that I'm not the only one that feels this way about at least one of the things that I've touched on. Like, Jeremy, all of this running, all of this hiding, guess what? Your time is going to run out. And you know what? There's nowhere for you to hide at this point. The moon is absolutely full, and the moonlight is shining down on all of the cracks, all of the chinks in your supposed indestructible armor. Well, I got news for you. The lightning of karma is going to strike down on you. Everything that you have done is catching up to you. And let's also not forget about something that is actually pretty damn significant as well. The fact that, you know, he has this, like, weird sort of, like, cuck fetish or whatever, where he gets off on watching his wife getting plowed by a fucking bull. Like, that is an actual thing, by the way, where there's this Wisconsin bull. But you see, here's the significant part of all this. I don't care what fetishes that you have, as long as it's legal and consensual. But you see, the part that really is concerning is the fact that this bull has a criminal history of domestic violence. Like, the fact that you would let someone who has a history of domestic violence around your wife, let alone plowing her, what the fuck does that say about you? Now, I know that with this video right here, just barely, and I mean barely, touches on the subjects revolving around the quartering, but this right here, I wanted to talk about the things that really meant the most to me, that really stuck out the most to me. I know that he also has a history of e-begging and trying to get as much money, as much monetary value out of his audience. And I also know about the bullshit surrounding his coffee brand coffee company and this, that, and everything else. But I'm going to leave this video with one final message. If this video goes down, just know that I am not the one that removed it. It is very likely that this video may in fact be targeted. This video may in fact be reported, and that's because that is the game that Jeremy wants to play. Because there is a golden, unwritten rule here when it comes to the internet, and that is never, and I mean ever, abuse the flagging system to silence your critics. But you have broken that golden rule, Jeremy, and that's why everyone is dog walking your ass. And I highly doubt, Jeremy, you're going to see this video. But if you do, you're probably not going to care, because I'm just one subscriber in your eyes. Well, I guess now one ex-subscriber in your eyes. You're probably thinking, well, one person, no big deal. I'll just gain back in like, a minute or stuff like that. But you see, here's the thing. Here is a big time difference between actual numbers and real people that once gave a shit about your content and about you. But the fact that you have let yourself get to this point right here, driving away even your closest friends, just know, Jeremy, you are going to lose. You are going to fucking lose horribly. And I know for certain that I am not the only one that feels this way. That with everything that I've said in this video, I know that there's at least one other person that used to be subscribed to you, Jeremy, that feels the same way that I do. Jeremy Hambly of TheQuartering, long story short, you are a disappointment.